300 feet to 400 feet. For his part, the chairman of the Christian community, Motherwell Gayflock, thanked the honorable for the construction, adding that the district two lawmaker is a man that believes in development. Motherwell Gayflock stressed that the four-part concrete bridge will serve as a memorial in remembering one of their fallen community block leaders. It can be recalled that the late Mayango was stabbed to death by a young resident of the Christian community while repairing a damaged plain footpath bridge. For his part, a resident and beneficiary of the bridge, Patrick Shapi, described the initiative as timely, adding that it will bring relief to citizens of the communities. He hailed Representative Smith for helping them and also urged citizens of the community to make proper use of the bridge when constructed. A group of Bond County citizens under the banner United Bond County Citizens has endorsed the candidacy of Mr. Kamunjo Kwali in the upcoming United Bond County Citizens Association in the Americas elections. Reading the endorsement statement, the Secretary General of the United Bond Citizens said Team Camus has all it takes to deliver the people of Bond County. Mr. Chan Nuwo Keleng said the decision to endorse Mr. Camus Joe Kwali and team is predicated upon the team's commitment to strengthen the leadership structure of UBCAA, its unwavering passion to seek the well-being and social protection of all Bond County citizens in the well-being and social protection of Bond County citizens in the United States and Pakistan, and its ability to utilize its mandate and privileges to establish network and linkages that will subsequently benefit the county. He said Team Camus has a clear agenda and possesses the requisite sophistication, experience, and energy required to build a robust and well-structured UBCAA and move it in the right direction, while also meaningfully contributing to the file movement of the county over the next 3 years. The UBCSG said they are chilled by these teams uncompromising desire to create a collaborative partnership with Bond County citizen stakeholders, affiliates, organizations, and other partners in securing resources for various intervention and sustainable development efforts in Bond County. The UBC made a statement over the weekend in Banga. In an effort to buttress the government Liberia in combating the deadly coronavirus, the Cityville Youth Council has made several donations of assorted anti-COVID-19 material to residents of the community. Making a donation on behalf of the youth, the chairman, Mr. Patrick Buaka, said the donation was provided by the youth of the community to help keep the spread of the virus. Materials donated include buckets, soap, face masks, hand sanitizer, among others. The donation affected Zone 9, Depot 4, Police Station in Riha community, the Garbet Town community, Belle Mansion community, and Nicholas Town community, among others. The chairman Buaka and other donation will be made shortly to the remaining community. Receiving a donation on behalf of the depot, the commander, Mr. Lucen in Down, thanked the youth for their kind gesture and promised to use the donations for the intended purpose. Commander Down promised to also help government to enforce measures that have been instituted by the health authority in the country. The donations were made during the weekend in the community. As government ordered the relocation of marketers of the commercial hub of Red Light, several marketers have raised series of concerns regarding the government's mandate. The marketers stated that the relocation was abrupt, stating that more time needs to be given them for the relocation. The new site lacks several basic necessities, including warehouses, latrines, among others. In a special statement, Ms. Kepe D. Caesar called on national government to ensure that owners of stores in Red Light strictly do wholesale while they petty traders D in retail respectively. Madam Caesar pleaded with the government to help in filling the swampland given to them Alan, that is one of the biggest challenges they are faced with. When those conditions are worked on, the citizens say they have no problem with relocating to Ominga. They spoke in an interview with this station over the weekend. The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Congress for Democratic Change has condemned the displacement of wealth on social media by Assistant Minister of State Emmanuel Porter. Assistant Minister Porter was seen displacing a luxurious Audi SUV vehicle bought for his wife as a birthday gift on Facebook, while at the same time spraying the expensive car with champagne. Addressing journalists at the CDC headquarters in Concord Town on Friday, July 9, the CDC Youth League Assistant Secretary General for Administration Hassan Newland said the action of Minister Porter, who could not afford 2,500 United States dollars years back, with less than 3 years, is displaying wealth and pumping champagne on a luxurious vehicle. According to Hassan, the CDC Youth League has no interest on how the minister should expand his salary, but noted that the CDC government is meant for the ordinary people and those serving in privileged positions should be able to outlive the ordinary people's life. At the same time, the National Youth League of the Congress for Democratic Change has condemned the continuous display of luxurious meal on the social media by Maritime Board Commissioner Eugene Nangbe. According to the CDC Youth League through the Assistant Secretary for Administration Hassan Newland, the continued display of meal by Commissioner Nangbe is a raw provocation and a show of sheer arrogance and a total disrespect to the ordinary citizens who are struggling daily. The Board of Commissioners of the National Elections Commission Friday reserved ruling in the Grand Kitmont County electoral dispute case involving veto waxing of the Coalition for Democratic Change and the declared winner in the December 8, 2020 special senatorial election in Grand Kitmont County, Simeon Taylor, candidate of the collaborating political parties. This followed argument by lawyers representing the complainant on a veto waxing led by Councillor Sheikh Salibu Sisi and Councillor Arthur Johnson versus Councillor Benedict Sano, representing the defendant Simeon Taylor. The case grew out of the action appeal, electoral fraud, and irregularities filed by Honorable Veto Waxing of the CDC as complainant versus the National Elections Commission, first defendant, and Mr. Simeon Taylor of the CPP as the second defendant. All 7 members of the Board of Commissioners heard the appeal case. Last week, the hearing officer in the Grand Kitmont County election dispute case, Anthony Fumaswari, reaffirmed an earlier decision of the Administrative Court at NEC, declaring Mr. Simeon Taylor as the winner of the December 8, 2020 special senatorial election in Grand Kitmont County. The Vice Chairman for Political Affairs of the People's Liberation Party, PLP, Henry Saki, says the Weah administration has failed the Liberian people, and the People Liberation Party under its leader, Dr. Daniel Kasser, is the alternative in the pending presidential general elections in 2023. Mr. Saki further notes that the governance system in Liberia is bad, as national leader are busy building personal home while the people live in abject poverty. Speaking during the ceremony held on Kerry Street in Central Monrovia, in challenged the new leadership to prioritize the welfare of its members. Saki emphasized that membership should be prioritized always to move the development of the institution forward. He said there can be no sustainable development when the leadership seeks its selfish interest at the expense of members. Meanwhile, the executive chairman of CO Adolfo Weah said the organization will ensure that corruption is eradicated from Liberia. Chairman Weah noted that corruption has undermined the developmental agenda of the nation, so it is about time for civil society organizations to advocate strongly against corruption. And finally, a family in Maryland County, East Liberia, has rejected COVID-19 as the cause of death for one of its members and is challenging local health authorities in the area to that effect. Members of the Jenica family have rejected a report from the county health team of Maryland that their son, the late Joe Jenica, tested positive of the virus prior to his death. Narrating the family ordeal, the older sister of the deceased said their late brother was first taken to the J.J. Dawson Referral Hospital in Harper, Maryland County on June 1, 2025. He died shortly thereafter.
Citizens Association in the Americas elections. Reading the endorsement statement, the Secretary General of the United Bond Citizens said Tinkan has all it takes to deliver to the people of Bond County. Mr. Charles Noah Kellen said the decision to endorse Mr. Kamonjo Kanen team is predicated upon the team's commitment to strengthen the leadership structure of the UBCAA, its unwavering passion to seek the well-being and social protection of all Bon County citizens in the United States and parts adjacent, and its ability to utilize its mandate and privileges to establish networks and linkages that will subsequently benefit the county. Here is Mr. Charles Nwokalan.
United Bond County Association in the Americas, UBCAA, in the upcoming leadership elections to be held in Minnesota at the UBCAA annual convention. Our decision to endorse Mr. Kamon and his team is predicated upon the team's commitment to strengthen the leadership configuration of the UPCAA, its unwavering passion to seek the well-being and social protection of all Bond County citizens in the United States and past adjacent, and its ability to utilize its mandates and privileges to establish networks and linkages that will subsequently benefit our county. More so, Think Kamon has a clear agenda and possesses the requisite sophistication, experience, and energy required to build a robust and well-structured UPCAA and move it in the right direction, while also meaningfully contributing to the forward movement of the county over the next 3 years. We are thrilled by this team's uncompromising desire to create a collaborative partnership with Bond County citizens, stakeholders, affiliate organizations, and other partners in securing resources for various interventions and sustainable development efforts in Bond County. We are also encouraged by the team quest to establish a fully staffed
Residents of the Christian and Bala Creek communities are expected to benefit a four-part concrete bridge through the office of Mozarto County District 2 Representative Honorable Jimmy M. David Smith after several negotiations on community dwellers. According to the Chief of Office staff in the office of Honorable Smith, Alfred Tokpa, the estimated cost of the four-part concrete bridge in the tune of US 20,000 is expected to extend from 300 feet to over 400 feet.
Yeah, let me firstly begin by appreciating Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Smith for the bravery, financial bravery, standing for the interests of the public. Several project is before him. It's a normal thing. And we requested for the Coco Field, we requested for Loon. We talk about the four-part bridge as well. But for the bridge, this is a bridge where one of the community leaders, may so rest in peace, the late Miami, were killed here when you heard that the community or that leader was stabbed to death. For my information, this is the bridge. Now, when this bill represented as well, they presented the bridge with a cost of 1,675 United States dollars. And that cost had to do with the replacement of plank. Marina is a plank bridge, 4-part bridge. There were so many planks that were damaged there, so they wanted Orosmith to help repair the damaged planks. So Orosmith read it, and in fact, when we came to the community, the leadership said to me, if the money is too much, we can still work around the gaps and other things to reduce it. I said, let be idea, let me take it to honorable. And when I reached out to him, he said, okay, let me have a meeting with the community people. So we said, what I do? He said to the community leaders, and he wanted to do a 4-part concrete bridge. It was very surprising. Can you imagine telling somebody that you want to buy a keke to be riding it, and the person telling you, say, no, I will buy you a truck. This is what happened here. Okay? Now, when Orosmith said it, nobody even had a belief that it will happen. And then we started the bridge on June 4th. We started the bridge. Orosmith on June 4th was surprised when Orosmith started dumping. I do the load of sand, we started dumping cross right, see that cement coming, steel rock coming. That's how we started the bridge.
For his part, the chairman of the Christian Community Mobile Gayflow thanked the honorable for the construction, adding that the District 2 lawmaker is a man that believes in development. Mobile Gayflow stressed that the 4-part concrete bridge will serve as a memorial in remembering one of their fallen community block leaders.
I'm very glad, and we believe in development, and our representative also believed in development, and that's why we also told him and asked him gently, and he came to our call, and he has started to really undertake this project. And on the other hand, we the community too, we are here every day to make sure that while somebody is waving you got to wash your face. We chose the bridge because the bridge has a kind of a historical event. You know, this is a major bridge that links so many communities and also another district. That is, this bridge is linking District 3 and also is used by Rehab community, Gabriel Town, sometimes Peace Island, Ray, and all around. What caused us to say that we need to remember this bridge? It was this bridge, one of our block leaders was starved to death when he was trying by Army to make sure that this bridge is accessible. He honored some funds and said that people should travel only to go to the while you are passing. And in the event, a gentleman came, there were 3, but one of them took knife and stabbed him just to death.
A beneficiary of the bridge, Frederick Sharp, was there and also made these remarks.
When I came to the passing of this bridge was a plan where people passing went through, being part of the passing, walking through it, and actually has been very bad when it rains. For example, you see the little rain that falls. You can see how hard it is. You, the resident, can see it. See how it's very bad. And I think this initiative is very good. But starting as we see, the city of this room is like the manpower and the instrumental of our representative honorable put their men on the ground day and night. We see them actually working hard to make sure that as we are in the reseason and bring relief to us in this moment.
Mr. Frederick Sharp is a beneficiary of the 4-part bridge that is to be shortly constructed by Honorable Jimmy Derry Smith. Earlier on, he listened to the voices of the Chief of Officer in the Lawmaker's Office, Alfred Tokpa, and the community chairman of the Christian Community Mobile Gayflow. As government ordered the relocation of marketers of the commercial hub of Red Light, several marketers have raised a series of concerns regarding the government's mandate. The marketers stated that the relocation was abrupt, stating that more time needs to be given for the relocation as the new site lacks several basic necessities, including warehouses, latrines, among others. In a special statement, Ms. Kebe D. Castle, or Cesar called on national government to ensure that owners of stores in red line strictly do wholesale while they petty deal in retail respectively. Well, that's the voice of Madam Kebe Castle. She's a resident, a seller, in fact, at the Red Hub. The Joint Security of Sano County has arrested 5 persons for allegedly brutalizing a 41-year-old Nigerian national identified as Stroman Dennis. According to police investigations, the victim is in the constant habit of selling illegal drugs to citizens of Electoral District Number 1 in Sano County. Our Sano County correspondent is Sagashos Banguru. He now reports.
The Joint Security of Sano County Tuesday morning arrested 5 people for allegedly brutalizing a Nigerian national age 41 identified as Stroman Dennis. According to police investigations, the traditionally narrated Stroman Dennis is in the conspiracy of selling illegal substances in the district. According to them, the selling of illegal substances has the propensity of damaging the future generation. They noted that the selling of illegal substances in the district is completely prohibited. Stroman Dennis was tied up and flogged for 24 hours on ground that he is involved with the sale of illegal substances. 5 people are currently behind bars awaiting court trial. Meanwhile, the office of the direct representative of Electoral District the Liberian National Police to allow justice to prevail and speedily. Karen Dole Dawe, leader consultant and offices for representatives. Samson Kuju, we are noted that the traditionalists on ongoing custody, the Vietnam brutalized the Nigerian has speculated in a public space. Yeah, and I'll say, it's reported that the people of Westwood Wine, they formed those involved in selling those negative substances that before just which is causing lot of damage to the young people of our country, whether that region. The people of that region, those that 3 of their sons died, young Shabu, just because of that, they went to work and file. I don't know what it was, in this case, of drugs to put something something. And apart from that, before all individuals such as relation, before individuals such as relation, and everyone wants that area to something else. It told them that anyone caught in the act of selling drugs will be just with the program. That territory do not have a that is I do tradition. So
Well, he's a resident of Electoral District 1 in Sando County, ending that report by Sagashos Banguru. If you just join us, you are indeed listening to News Wash. 45 minutes of accurate, balanced, and concise news forming about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. Stories stopping News Wash this morning for being sensitive to the plight of the ordinary Liberians. The executive chairman of the Grassroots Alternative Movement, Dr. Emmanuel Ure, blasts Liberian legislators. United Born Citizens endorses the Kamojo Kane and team ahead of the upcoming United Born Citizens Association in the Americas elections. Supreme Court's ruling models Samuka's path to the Senate, and several people in South Africa arrested following a violence that spread after the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma. We'll take this break. When we come back, it's going to be our foreign news bulletin.
Welcome back. I'm James Zegerson Fokpa with the foreign news. Nigerian police said on Sunday a group of unidentified gunmen attacked a town in northwest Nigeria's Kaduna state, kidnapping 11 people, including a traditional ruler. Mohammed Jalish, a spokesman for Kaduna police, said in a statement that gunmen in great numbers invaded Kajura town of the state in the early hours of Sunday. They shoot sporadically and enter the traditional ruler's residence in the town, adopting the 85-year-old ruler and 10 of his family members. Jalish urged local residents to remain calm and provide credible information to the police and other security services to prevent any potential attacks on innocent persons. Nigeria has witnessed in recent months a series of gunmen attacks across the country, resulting in many civilians killed and kidnapped. Dozens of people have been arrested in South Africa as violence spreads following the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma. Pro-Zuma protesters first took to the streets after the 79-year-old handed himself to authorities on Wednesday to begin a 15-month sentence. But police now says the criminals are taking advantage of the chaos, which spread from his home province of KwaZulu-Natal to Johannesburg in Gauteng. More than 60 people have been arrested. On Sunday, protesters armed with sticks, golf clubs, and branches were seen marching through Johannesburg's central business district. The night before, some 300 people had barricaded a major highway in Johannesburg. According to NAJOINS, the national intelligence body, about 800 people were also involved in an accident in which one police officer was shot in Alexandra, a township in Johannesburg, South Africa's economic hub. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa appealed for calm on Sunday, acknowledging that there are those who may be hurt and angry, but adding there can never be any justification for such violent, destructive, and disruptive actions. The jailing of former President Zuma is unprecedented in South Africa, which has been grabbed by Zuma's legal turmoil. He was sentenced for contempt of court after failing to attend an inquiry into corruption in his presidency. And Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has won the country's delayed election with an overwhelming majority. The election board said on Saturday. The board said Mr. Abiy's property party, that's Prosperity Party, won 410 out of 436 seats. They gave him another 5-year term in office. Polls were not held in the War-10 Tigray region, where many thousands are living in famine conditions. In all, a fifth of the country failed to take part in voting owing to insecurity and logistical problems. Another round of election has been provisionally scheduled for 6 September in the affected areas, but there is no date for a vote in Tigray. The election had already been delayed due to the pandemic. Mr. Abiy, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, described the vote as a historically inclusive election in a statement on Twitter. The new government is expected to be formed in October. However, there are concerns about elections integrity. Opposition parties are complaining that the government crackdown against their officials has disrupted their plans to prepare, securing a parliamentary majority against Prime Minister Abiy, a governing mandate. But instead of celebration, the focus will quickly turn to how he would deal with mounting challenges. The foreign news is back to the team for the continuation of Newswatch.
Congratulations, James Yegas in Fokpa, for the foreign news presentation here on Newswatch. Of course, Newswatch takes more development here this morning. The Revolutionary Youth League of the Congress for Democratic Change has condemned the displacement of wealth on social media by system addressing journalists at the CDC headquarters in Congo Town on Friday. The CDC Youth Wing Assistant Secretary for Administration, Hassan Nuland, said the action of Mr. Potter, who could not afford 2,500 United States dollars years back, with less than 3 years, is displaying wealth and pumping champagne on a luxurious vehicle.
The John Security of South Company had a Tuesday morning arrested 5 people.
A reckless display of wealth on the back of Assistant Minister J. Emmanuel Porter. The action of Emmanuel Porter, who put in a poll 2,500 United States dollars years back, within less than 3 years, is displaying wealth and popping champagne on a luxurious Audi Q7 vehicle. Facebook. We have no interest in how the minister to expand his quote-unquote salary, but we want to remind that the CDC government is a government of the ordinary people. It is intended to uplift the life of the ordinary mass. This is why we are called the People's Party, and this is why we are governed on the mantra of the Pro-Core agenda, prosperity and development. The essence of the Pro-Core agenda is to alleviate the vast majority in fighting against the COVID-19 menace that is ravaging our country, and committed the endeavor to address the economical challenge situation of the citizens. Is intended to realistically portray his effort instead of having an individual who is supposed to be identified with the citizen or fronting to such a luxurious vehicle in the midst of all of this. This only speaks to the insensitivity on the part of Mr. Ford. Refuse to accept that while hospitals are challenged and the healthcare system is under attack, to have an assistant minister who earns around 2,000 to be paraded with a vehicle of such high cash back to the point of insultingly pouring champagne on we believe that this is what the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Mali Coalition for Democratic Change wants to ask the president and the Senate of the CDC to investigate Mr. Porter's display of such affluence, which we think is at the peril of the ordinary.
Well, that's the voice of CDC Youth League Assistant Secretary General for Administration. He's Hassan Nuland there, condemning the act in his words exhibited by Assistant Minister for State Emmanuel Porter. Former Defense Minister Brandon Sambuka has suffered yet another setback as a justice in Chambers Joseph Nangwe grants the government of Liberia's writ of prohibition. The writ of prohibition, according to our judicial reporter, was intended to have the National Elections Commission, which is the body responsible to conduct elections in our country, stopped the certification of the Lower County Center election. Breachhaven News editor James Yegas in Fokpa is following the saga and now reports.
To purchase the government of Liberia in combating the third coronavirus.
Former Defense Minister Brownie Samuka suffers another setback as Justice in Chamber Joseph Nangwe grants the government of Liberia's writ of prohibition. The writ of prohibition, according to our judicial reporter, was intended to have the National Elections Commission, who is the body responsible for conducting elections in the country, stop the certification of the local county senator at Brownie Samuka. The evidence ruling into the matter of Friday, July 9, 2021, the Temple of Justice Emmanuel, Associate Justice Nangwe ordered a claim of court issued a peremptory writ of prohibition mandating the National Elections Commission to disallow the certification of Samuka. He said the certification will be stopped until the former Defense Minister now Senator Yvette Lopa meets his disability imposed on him. His conviction is removed according to law. They can record on March 29, 2020, the governor of Liberia through the Ministry of Justice
prayed the Supreme Court through its presiding justice in chambers to prohibit, inhibit, and prevent National Elections Commission from certificating Brandon Samukar. Meanwhile, Justice Brangwe has ever said proposed that a petition for the real prohibition and properly appealed for, taking into consideration the controlling laws cited in the petition, is therefore granted. Raja Luz and James Ferguson Papa.
And finally, in an effort to buttress the government Liberia in combating the deadly coronavirus, the City View Youth Council has made several donations of anti-assorted COVID-19 materials to residents of the community. Brush FM's reporter Sam Medove-Kato covered the donation, and back in studio, he compiled this report.
Former Defense Minister Brandon Samukar suffers another setback. Justice in keep
To purchase the government of Liberia in combating the terrible coronavirus crisis, the City View Youth Council made several donations of assorted anti-COVID-19 materials to residents of the community. Making the donations on behalf of the youth, the chairman, Mr. Patrick J. Walker, said the donation was provided by the youth of the community in helping government to combat the virus which is ravaging the country. Materials that were donated include hand washing buckets, soap, face masks, hands sanitizer, among others. Some places that benefited include the Zone 9 Depot 4 police station, in rehab community, the Government Town community, Pele Mansion community, and the Necklace Town community. The chairman further said that the other donations will be made within the coming days. Receiving the donation on behalf of the Depot 4 police station, the commander, Mr. Lucini Down, thanked the youth for their kind gesture and also further said that the police will work tirelessly in enforcing government health protocols. Since Merovish Pato, Brush FM News, Morovia.
With that story, that's how we come to the end of News Watch this morning. 45 minutes of accurate, balanced, and concise news for me about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. News Watch will be back this evening at 8 o'clock with more stories. But before we go, let's bring you today's or this morning's top stories. For being sensitive to the plight of the ordinary Liberians, the executive chairman of the Grassroots Alternative Movement, Dr. Emmanuel Ure, blasts Liberian legislators. United Born Citizens endorses the Kamojo Kane and team ahead of the upcoming United Born Citizens Association in the Americas elections. Supreme Court's ruling Modest Samukar's path to the Senate, and several people in South Africa are being arrested following a violence that spread after the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma. Thanks for listening. Jeremiah Moba read our news bulletin, and James Jagasin Fokpa brought us our foreign news. I am Bianque Ruben Dolo. Good morning.